Hello, everyone. I believe we are back. I believe we are back live from Kota. Once again, we're having a few technical issues, but luckily you are back with us just in time for the final runs in this qualifying session. We've got John leading the way now, just fractionally by a wheel. I think he just caught John's lap before the stream cut out, but a few minutes to go in the session, and we've seen Magic Poop Cannon improve up to third place, but we're waiting for Owen to come out the pit lane for his final run in the session too.
I think Neljak has he just begun a lap? I think he has. Yeah, it would have been nice if PlayStation actually, let me know that the stream was down. But apparently I was still broadcasting. But Neljak then on a lap, he's not had a good first sector. He's 2/10 down on his previous best time. So he's going to have to find a good chunk of time through the final two sectors. This will be his final lap of the session. So he needs to find a good chunk of time in the next two sectors as he heads down onto this back straight where you can't see anything because of the sun. But I think he's the first of the big hitters to set
I think
a
he
lap.
will be.
So let's see what the second sector is like then. He does have a good bit of ground to make up, and hits the apex nicely, and takes a decent amount of exit curb, but does not run over the baguette curbs, and he is 600ths up. So he's found about a quarter of a second in that second sector compared to his previous best. Connects with the apex there through that awkward double left-hander. And let's see what kind of line he takes through here. Now it's wide again. They're all going wide through here. You need to cut it tight. But Neljak then takes a nice line through turn 19, though. He takes a bit of risk there with the track limits, and that's what we like to see, as Neljak then crosses the line and jumps up into P7. Half a second he found in the end there. That could have been... okay, could have been sixth. But, yeah, not a good first sector from the Ferrari driver. And I think we've got Wheelnut on a lap.
Jacko's invalidated this lap, so he's not going to be improving. But yeah, we've got Wheelnut on a lap. He's just slightly down in the first sector. John Menzies is also on this long straight, just a few seconds behind him. Let's see what Wheelnut's second sector is. He's slightly up, and of course the gap's so close between John and Wheelnut, that would be enough for pole if he can keep it. Let's see, John is on the second sector. He's also slightly up.
Oh, Wheelnut's... oh no, he's thrown it away.
Oh!
He took too much of the exit curb.
And that's where John had the moment earlier, wasn't it? But John's got through there well.
As Owen Quenby then, he's 600ths up on his previous best in the first sector. He might as well push here. I don't know if anyone behind is going to improve and get ahead of him. Jacko's out of the session. Shep is has invalidated his lap, so he's not going to be finding any improvement, nor will Neljak. So Mayor Quenby then, what's his second sector split going to be like? He hasn't run too wide through there. He's just a 10th up on his previous best, but the final sector tends to be where a lot of time is lost and found. So Owen then hooks it up nicely.
I think Jack Craig as well is going to be one to watch as well. He's just coming around the end of the lap, just ahead of Owen. He is 100% about to improve. And can he get himself possibly ahead of Owen before Owen crosses the line? Can he even be on pole here? He goes into second. Where's Owen?
Owen at the final corner then, and let's see what kind of final sector he has. Owen Quenby crossed the line. It's a front row for Owen, crucially. At the last moments of the session, finds a huge chunk of time. Shep peels off into the pits because his lap was invalid. But two on the bounce for John Menzies then, taking both poles tonight and doing exactly what he needs to do.
Well, he was over 70 points behind coming into tonight, and we said he pretty much had to win both races, and he's certainly going the right way about it with the pole and the win in Suzuka and the pole here in Austin. But he will have Owen alongside him this time, and we know that Owen got that flyer of a start in Japan in the last race in those wet conditions. Of course, let's see what he can do in the dry, and it's going to have the two championship contenders on the front row for this race.
Yeah, we're on for a pretty spicy race then. And yeah, Owen, as you said, will be looking to get a similar start. So John Menzies then will be looking at his mirrors as he gets off the line. But your grid then for the US Grand Prix here in TGP2. John Menzies and Owen Quenby, the two title contenders on the front row, looking to eat into Dom Smith's lead as much as they possibly can. Jack Craig, a very strong P3 with Daniel P. Wheelnut back up to the position we normally see him in P4. Magic Poopcannon is 5th with Jacko in 6th. M. Shep is a decent 7th place with Nell Jack just behind in 8th. Bazza and Lewis Craig complete the top 10. Lewis Craig perhaps with a bit more pace to show. Blair Grills is 11th, followed by Indecisive Mackie, Angel vs Death, Red Bull Kim starting in a points paying position, with Kaya, Mr. John and Cena with that disqualification completing the grid. I think Cena will be one to watch. He tends to get good starts as well. So we'll see what the now Williams driver will be able to do from P17. But let's see what the weather will be like. Actually, I don't know if did we get a weather report?
I believe it's going to be dry.
It's quite dry.
It is. It's even. Well, I was going to say it's brighter than yesterday than the qualifying, but obviously the race is a few hours earlier, and you can see in the grandstands there the popularity of TGP in America.
Don't know what they're celebrating at the moment. Maybe Red Bull Kim's giving a few waves to the fans, but. Yeah, we're getting ready to go at my new favourite circuit. But, let's see, will Owen be able to get the same sort of launch as an AlphaTauri driver did yesterday as we get the lights up on the gantry about to go out here in America. And we are underway, and it looks like it is a fairly even start at the front. It's a disaster for Jacko behind. He's tumbling down the grid. But Owen then, he did actually get a better start. He has the inside line. But John Menzies then, he hangs around the outside, gets a bit of oversteer on the curb. Owen is on the soft compound tyre, and he's already managed to get his way up into the lead of the race, with John Menzies dropping down into P2. Wheelnut is in 3rd, with Jack Craig hanging on to 4th. Lewis Craig has made a brilliant start. He's already up into P5. He's gained 5 places in the first sector there, and I think Jack Craig had a bit of a wobble there, but Mayor Quemby then did exactly what he needed to do, and it's a repeat of yesterday. We have an AlphaTauri leading on lap 1 on the soft compound tyre, and a bit of a wobble there as he gets onto the back straight with John Menzies just behind him. Don't think John Menzies is going to be too annoyed by this though, because he did of course start on the medium tyre. So Owen then, I think he just wanted to get that launch, get himself up into the lead, and just see what happens from here.
Yeah, he has a really good start, didn't he? And I'm actually surprised he didn't have the lead into turn 1, to be fair. It looked like he was going to, but John managed to get it back. But then Owen, I imagine, just had the better drive out of the corner and is ahead, and it's a second ahead. But as you say, John, on those mediums, let's see what he can do. In fact, all the cars behind him, behind Owen, are then on mediums as well. The top 9 are all on mediums, aside from the race leader.
That could potentially be actually not great for Owen, because when he pits, as we see side-by-side action with Lewis Craig and M. Shep. M. Shep being a bit optimistic, trying to go side-by-side through there, I have to say, as Owen already has a 1.4 second lead. The soft tyres around here do drop off quite quickly, and they become quite hard to handle fairly quickly on in the race here. It's about lap kind of 4, I would say, that they start getting a bit difficult to handle, as we have an incident behind. I think Blair Grylls has had another problem tonight, and he's dropped down to P13 after an incident at turn number 1. Red Bull Kim has now just passed him. Cena's only made his way up to 14th. He's not actually in the session, so Cena is an AI, so unfortunately for him, he's not actually here, and no safety car to help him. As Bazza goes for a spin as well, he is now dropped down to the very back of the field. Engine versus Death is actually still behind him, but Bazza then, terrible opening part of the race for him, as Owen Quenby still about 1.4 seconds clear of John Menzies at the front.
Well, Bazza had gone side by side with Blair Grylls, and he touched, which is what sent Blair Grylls into a spin, and then Bazza went spinning himself a few corners later. Look at Lewis Craig and Poopcannon here. They were side by side at the start of the straight, and is Poopcannon going to be late on the brakes here, trying to get back ahead? Yes, he is. There's Lewis Craig, and Shepard is. Lewis Craig doing a crofty there, as Lewis Craig gets into 6th place ahead of M. Shep, back ahead.
Yeah, so Lewis Craig then, he made his way up to 5th, was passed by Neljak, and is now fighting for P6 with M. Shep, but looks like that battle has been resolved, and there's a bit of a gap now between the Red Bull driver and the Alfa Romeo. So Mayor Quemby then 1.7 seconds clear, make that 1.9 as the soft tyres are doing their stuff in the final sector, and Owen then as M. Shep goes for a spin at the final corner. Not normally a place you see people spin, As Jacko heads into the pits for a very early stop. Does
he's
he have
serving
any
his drive through.
Oh,
He's serving his drive through.
of course. Oh, that's why he got the
Now
slow
Jack.
start.
Neljak had the good run there, but I thought he was maybe going to have a go at Jack Craig, but Jack Craig managed to hold him off as he go through the S's, and Jack Craig stays in 4th place. But as you say, Owen at the front, 1.8 seconds the lead. He just has to try and build that up, doesn't he, before he makes a stop?
Yeah, and I think the overcut around here, or sorry, other way around, undercut around here is quite strong, because you warm your tyres up pretty quickly with that first sector, because you're constantly weaving anyway to get through the corners. So the undercut is a very powerful tool around here. As Owen Quenby then, his tyres at this stage will start to kind of reach the crossover point in terms of pace with the mediums, as Neljak is going side by side with Jack Craig, and he's already passed him heading into the braking zone, and he goes a bit deep though heading into turn number 12, and they're going to be side by side heading through this very slow complex. Not great to drive, but great to race through. And Lewis Craig is probably going to get a bit interested in the action here, as Neljak, he tried to go around the tried to go up the inside there. Lewis Craig was a bit optimistic there, trying to go around the outside of Neljak, and was sort of shown the door there, and I think that was fair enough from Neljak. I think you couldn't really expect Lewis to go around the outside there, as Neljak has a bit of understeer through turn number 19, as very late on the brakes there from Lewis Craig, lucky to not hit Alex in the Ferrari. And looks like Neljak has a lot more straight line speed, perhaps a bit of deployment used there. Let me get the telemetry up so I can actually see. And actually, yeah, 21% left for Neljak in the Ferrari, so he's already been fairly aggressive on his battery deployment. And Jack Craig a good bit better than him, about twice the amount of deployment. A lot of understeer in this first sector for him though, as M-Shep does pick up a penalty for track limits. Has kind of been a weakness of his in the races. Sometimes he has the pace, but sometimes he drops down a little bit due to those incidents. But Neljak then still comfortably within DRS of Jack Craig ahead. And Neljak, every now and again, he does pop up with some pretty strong pace. And I think he is beginning to get a bit more comfortable. Of course, he was very strong in Japan and ended up on the podium. But let's see then what Neljak can do. He's already going to be running out of deployment, but Jack Craig has absolutely no answer for him.
That was ridiculous. That Neljak hit 202 miles per hour. Jack Craig 182.
I wonder. A lot of the setups around here are very high downforce, which is quite a surprise. As Jack Craig launches it up the inside, and I don't know if Neljak needed to run himself off the track there. I don't know. It felt somewhat fair to me based on the angle I saw. They're going side by side through here. Both of them are a bit scared of spinning by the looks of it. Crawling through the corner, but Neljak, okay, you can tell he has no wings on this car compared to the rest. But I did notice, though, I was tempted myself as Lewis Craig blasts past the Ferrari. I was tempted to go with the low downforce setup myself, because I did see how strong, or not strong, how high the wing levels were around here. Thankfully I didn't, but it was very tempting, because there's a lot of straights around here, but you just need that grip through the corners, and I think Neljak is proving exactly why. He's just losing touch constantly when we go through these corners. Yeah. And it's not really working out for him. You'd imagine Magic Poop Cannon will be overtaking him fairly soon. If indeed he can, he may have to do what Jack Craig did and be very opportunistic with it.
Well, he stayed within DRS now, Jack, so we'll see if he can come straight back at these two here, but he has only got 14% ERS. Lewis Craig has got 43%, Jack Craig's got 52%, so is this going to be a battle then between the two Craigs as the Red Bull closes in on the Williams?
And let's see, they're side by side then heading into turn number 12. Jack Craig just about giving him room on the exit then, and Lewis will have the inside line heading into the final corner, but he's not really keen on it. But Jack Craig is still being very generous. He's still giving him a lot of space, but he's covering that inside line. He does not want the Red Bull driver with the inside line. And Lewis Craig, he almost had a beautiful run on the exit, but just had a bit of a snap and wasn't able to capitalise on it. And Neljak is now back on the two of them, because they were going side by side for so long, as Neljak
Shep spun.
Shep has spun once again. I think he's already had a spin at the final corner in this race, as Neljak then, Well, he's using his deployment, but for no real reason here, as Magic Poop Cannon does get up the inside and decides not to outbrake him. I thought he would have been able to slow the car down a bit quicker if he is running a higher downforce configuration in that Alpine. But Jack Craig then beginning to cause a little bit of a train. I think he's maybe being a bit generous with his racing room potentially. But Lewis Craig then at the moment looking the quicker driver, as John Menzies is all over the back of Owen. I think we've both spotted that at the same time.
Has Owen's tyres maybe gone, do you think, possibly? Although he's had a good exit out there, but John is going to have the DRS, isn't he? And yeah, has Owen's soft tyres gone? And of course, don't forget, when Owen pits, he may well have to fight all those guys in that battle for fourth. Late on the brakes goes John Menzies. Is he going to take the lead before Owen pits? He runs him off the road.
I don't know what, Owen wanted to kind of go side by side on the exit there, but then why not defend the position in the first place? He left the door completely open on the entry to turn number 12, and then decides to fight it.
Two Craigs as well, battling once again all through this complex, all through the exit of the long straight there, and Lewis Craig is now ahead, although Jack's going to try and get it back. Oh, they're going to be side by side again through here, and again none of them have lost it.
Somehow they don't make any sort of contact, and Jack Craig's still ahead. They bang wheels, and this is fantastic racing between the two Craigs through the final few corners of this circuit. Somehow Jack Craig still stays ahead of his younger brother, and Lewis then all over the back heading into turn number 1. He's going to have to try and go around the outside. Jack Craig still ahead going through the corner. Lewis Craig has to go a bit wide. He goes over those sausage curbs, loses a good bit of traction on the exit. Meanwhile, Owen has pitted in the middle of all of this. He's currently a second behind M. Shep. He's going to hope then that he'll be able to get DRS and pass the Alfa Romeo driver fairly quickly. The undercut, I keep mixing that up. The undercut around here is very powerful. So Owen then will hopefully be able to get past M. Shep as this battle resumes up ahead.
Although Wheelnut did also pit there, and he's in the third place. He's on the medium, so he's put the softs on now. He's going to have to go the rest of the race on the softs. Quite a long distance to get those to the end, but we'll see if he manages it. So Owen is going to close in on Shep, and I imagine it's going to be quite an easy move because Shep does not have much energy, so Owen will be quite thankful for that. Is it going to kick off again towards the front here with Jack Craig and Neljak and Lewis Craig and Poop Cannon all together? It's fantastic stuff. Although Owen actually still hasn't got past M. Shep, I'm surprised. Now he makes the move, does he?
This was literally me yesterday. It's the same strategy. We both had an Alfa Romeo to overtake when we came out the pits, and it was the same corner, and still had to make a proper move. So there's a lot of parallels going on here. But Lewis Craig still he's behind Neljak now. So Jack Craig, Neljak, Lewis Craig, Magic Poop Cannon still in this battle. No idea how this is going to work out between the four of them. They're 10 seconds now behind John Menzies out in front, as Lewis Craig now, you'd imagine, will sail past Neljak. I think Neljak just about staying within this because of the battling that's going on behind, as Lewis Craig doesn't really have a great turn 1, and you can see that Neljak taking full advantage of that, going straight past him. Magic Poop Cannon not really getting involved here. He's kind of just sat back and probably waiting to capitalise later on in the race. Will these guys pit on the same lap? They're all driving for different teams, so it doesn't actually matter when they pit. So it'll be interesting to see if someone will opt to pit a lap earlier or stay out for some extra time.
That's crazy stuff, this, isn't it? What a fantastic battle. And of course Owen will be rapidly closing in, and he'll be hoping that these guys do not stay out for much longer. But I imagine at some point one of these four drivers involved in this battle will try and pit early to try and get some sort of undercut. But the other thing to note is that these guys have pretty much all absolutely destroyed their ERS.
Yes.
I mean, they're virtually all got... Jack Craig still got 25%, so he's in a good position, but the guys behind have pretty much... It's basically almost on zero already.
Yeah, and in the case of why is Neljak using it on the exit of here? What benefit is that? Maybe he's accidentally left it on, because some people do just turn it on at the start of the race and then never switch it off. But there's no reason to do it. He does turn it off as he enters the pits.
So does Poop Cannon as well. And Lewis Craig got a penalty there at the penultimate corner. John Menzies pits. And this is crucial for the race, and it's crucial for the championship. Owen sets the fastest lap. John's got the softs on, and Owen will take the lead, but John is going to be charging on those softs.
And the softs are a lot quicker at this late phase in the race. You've got lighter fuel, softer compound. They do wear off very quickly. And actually, I'd say Johnny's pitted fairly early. He's pitted a lap earlier than I would expect. And every lap you do on those soft compound tyres is quite difficult to manage, as Blair Grills has crashed on the exit of the penultimate corner. Of course, I think we saw Fiat crash there in 2015. He probably just took a bit too much exit curb and went straight onto the inside wall. No safety car will come out in this race. Blair Grills has had enough, so he becomes our second retirement of this race. But Mayor Quemby then crucially 2.3 seconds clear of John Menzies in that Aston Martin. But of course, John Menzies with the fresher tyres.
Yeah, let's just have a quick check on the warnings as well. Owen has 1 warning and John has 2. So getting close to penalties. John, 1 more error and it'll be a penalty for him. Owen's still got 1 more joker to throw in there, but we'll see how it goes. Meanwhile, for this big battle going on for really third place in the race, I suppose you'd have to say. Let's see, are both the Crays going to pit now? Yes, they do. So it'll be interesting to see where these guys come out. He's hit him! Wow, he hit him! And he's going to have to, will he have to change his front wing, won't he? But will he have one ready?
They do swift work from the Red Bull mechanics. But, yeah, I don't really know what was going on there. Maybe Jack Craig was being very cautious as he headed in there, but he's going to lose a lot of time. But I suppose, I mean, if Jack starts battling with Alex all over again, then, I mean, he'll probably just creep up
as well.
to the back. Yeah,
he's right in the middle of them. Oh, Poop Cannon going around the outside.
No.
Oh, he's going to Jack.
He's taken too much of the exit curb. He's lost control of his car and gone straight into Jack Craig. Somehow Magic Poop Cannon is still pointing in the right direction. He's escaped unscathed. But Jack Craig then sent straight into the wall. Does he have any damage? It's put him back with Lewis now. So so the two of them are back together. But M. Shep has managed to pass the pair of them now. Thanks to that. But that was quite the incident. I'm surprised that it had such a violent impact. I'm not sure how Jack Craig was just sent directly to the scene of the accident, but
I'm not sure. But look at the fronts. Meanwhile, while those guys are all having chaos for 4th and 5th in place, I suppose you kind of have to watch the fronts here as M. Shep and Lewis Craig now back ahead of M. Shep. But John closing in now on those soft tyres, and is this going to be the moment where he goes for the lead?
This is crucial now for Owen. This is where you need to defend and hold him up as much as you possibly can, because there is a period where the mediums do start to become a bit quicker than the softs, and John Menzies did pit early. So Owen's going to have to hold him up as much as he possibly can, but he does have less deployment. John Menzies tends to be quite strong with his energy deployment, and it's the case once again. Of course, he does have 1 more warning compared to Owen, but Owen's going to have to be inch perfect around here and hold him up as much as he possibly can. And then even if he does get past, hopefully then for Owen's sake, he'll be able to claw back the advantage as those softs begin to degrade. But John Menzies then will be comfortably within DRS and has the deployment to attack.
So is it going to be down this straight then? Technically for the championship, I think Dom would prefer John to win this race, as you said. And here he comes using his DRS open. Oh, they got very close. But John is going to take the lead of the race. But Owen late on the brakes. He's going to try and hold it back around the outside. And is Owen going to go off the track again like what happened earlier in the race? John is ahead. Owen's sent it. Oh, they're going to touch John. They just avoid the contact.
I don't understand this. He's done it again. As Owen dives up the inside, again. Are they going to make contact? No, they don't. John Menzies gets the better exit, but he is at least delaying John Menzies' progress, because this is where the soft tyres will be quicker than the mediums at this phase in the race. And Owen will still have DRS, so he's going to have to be very aggressive heading into turn 1. Hopefully he'll get a better exit, but I don't think he will, though. I think John Menzies then pulls away a little bit. Actually, no, he doesn't. So Owen then, he's got DRS. He's not using his deployment though, so I think he's just going to have to. He's just going to sit there and hope that John Menzies' tyres go off. But I can't help but feel he should have gone defensive again into turn 12. Why is he attacking like afterwards? It didn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Jack Craig, meanwhile, has gone for another spin there. So he got tagged earlier, and now he's gone for another spin now as Owen. I'm pretty sure Owen might have just got a warning there because it looked like he was all four wheels off the track to me. So you may only be one more away now from a penalty as well. Let's not forget that could also decide the race. But is Owen going to get a good exit out of here to have a go down the straight?
Let's have a look then. Currently half a second. I think John Menzies has got... no, not got a better exit actually. So Owen then can attack on John Menzies, and actually Owen has the advantage when it comes to deployment. It's only a very slight advantage, but an advantage nonetheless. But John Menzies then still clear of Owen, as Owen gets a bit of a oversteery moment on the exit of turn number 12 as he heads through the twisty sector 3. This is where John, you'd expect, would be faster, but he's not really pulling away from Owen, and this is exactly what Owen needs to do, because the final 2 laps of this race will probably be a bit difficult for John.
Oh, I thought John was getting a bit out of shape there, but yeah, John hit 190 down the straight there with no ERS or DRS. Owen did have DRS and also only hit 190, so that would suggest that John is going to be pretty comfortable on the straight. Owen might need to build up his ERS a little bit more here to try and have a go, maybe on the final lap.
Yeah, and of course John, with that early pit stop, will have a difficult final lap in store. We have a spin in the background. I think, is that it's a blue car. Is that Jack Craig all over again? I think it is.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
So he's down to P10 then after fighting for what was a podium position, which now belongs to Daniel P. Wheelnut. Now Jack somehow 4th after all of this, as Lewis Craig picks up, I believe that's another penalty for track limits. It's all sort of, well, it's got a bit more spread out towards the back here, but Lewis Craig all over the back of Magic Poop Cannon, and out in front, Owen then not really pulling in on John Menzies.
Not using the ERS though either. Is he? I have a feeling he's just building it all up for one last go. As Lewis Craig has got past Poop Cannon. Poop Cannon was off the road there. Why? What happened? Did he just?
Well, I don't know. He just
go off?
Didn't really seem to have any interest in taking the corner. So it's almost like he was kind of let through there. I don't know if there was an earlier incident.
I mean, Lewis Craig does have a penalty, doesn't he? So maybe he just decides to let him through.
Yeah, and I suppose he can use it to defend from M-Chef, but I know it's actually Kieran did that to me yesterday. He gave me DRS so that I could stay ahead of Jack Hickey behind me because he knew I wouldn't pass him. But Merrick Quemby then still all over the back of John Menzies then, and this is the time where he needs to attack. He's opting not to do it now though, but John Menzies, he's going to be derating, you'd imagine, down that back straight. But he does have less downforce. He's got more straight line speed, so Owen's going to have to absolutely nail this final sector, and I think they're both on 2 warnings. So
yeah, they are. They're both on 2 warnings.
Oh, I think Owen, he's messed that up just a slight bit there, and differing lines through here, and John Menzies' tyres probably won't be in fantastic shape. I think Owen was a little bit neater through there, but I think he's just a bit too far away now. He's about 7/10 back.
He's got to try and get a good exit. He's got to get a good exit out of here, and then he can use the ERS, and he can use the DRS as he gets 40%. There's the ERS getting used. The DRS will get used now. John is derating. Can Owen close in?
He's going to have to lunge it down the inside, but that's exactly what Owen likes to do. Owen in the AlphaTauri just behind John Menzies. He's late on the brakes. Are they going to make contact? They're not, and Owen Quemby brilliantly takes the lead from John Menzies on the final lap of the race. John Menzies then, does he have anything to fight with? Are his tyres in good enough nick to perhaps throw it down the inside? No, he's not. Is he going to get a better exit compared to Owen? Again, no, he isn't. So on the final lap of the race then, the tyres came back to Owen in the end. The advantage swung back to the AlphaTauri driver through the final 2 corners of this race. There's still penalties that could be picked up by the 2 drivers, but it's both clean, and a fantastic win from Owen. After losing the lead, he regains it on the final lap. Owen Quenby wins in the USA. John Menzies, a fantastic night for him. Double podium, a win and a P2, but he will be kicking himself after that, after losing it on the very last lap. Daniel P. Wheelnut, an excellent podium. Nailjack, a very strong night for him, P3 and P4. Lewis Craig up there in the top 5, so great drive from him. And Magic Poop Cannon is P6 with
Poop Cannon might be out of fuel there.
Maybe, yeah, look like he backed off there. Was he trying? I don't know. Maybe he was actually giving Lewis Craig a position back. Maybe there was an incident in the race that we didn't pick up on, and Magic Poop Cannon felt he was at fault for it. Maybe. That's the only reasoning I can think of. But M-Shep is 7th in the end with penalties applied. Jacko 8th, Indecisive Mackie 9th. Jack Craig will actually lose a position here to Baza with that penalty. And the spin. So Jack Craig then dropping to Angel versus Death is actually now ahead of him, and it's not a great end. Well, he'll probably beat Red Bull Kim.
What? I actually wonder if maybe Has Jack possibly had rear wing damage for the second half of this race as well? Because he did get hit, didn't he, by Lewis Craig, and then obviously got tagged as he came out the pit lane. He might have been struggling towards the end.
He didn't get hit by a thingy in the pit lane. Lewis Craig picks up.
Yeah, there we go, there's Thingy.
Yeah. Thingy with driver of the day there then. Great drive from the Scotsman. But Owen then picks up the win fantastically, in fantastic fashion. That's 2 wins on the bounce now for AlphaTauri. It's them doing the double in TGP 1 and 2. So Owen then making the AlphaTauri mechanics very happy this week, and the women got their hair done up for it as always.
Yep.
Very similar to each other, it has to be said, but that's a conversation for another day. But as far as I haven't seen a Twitter thread about it. But anyway, Owen Quenby wins with the fastest lap as well.
Yep.
So that's 19 points he is behind Dom.
Yep.
And we know how things can swing around in TGP2, and the Brazil can throw up a lot of surprises, and who knows what the new Yas Marina layout will bring. So
it is 36 points for John. So John's 36 points behind on 235 points. 36 behind Dom. Owen on 252. 19 behind Dom. So it is going to go down to the final week.
Don't quite have the time to flick through the results, but they are on the screen. Cena, I don't think, will get that final point, because I don't think he was ever actually in the race. So I think that will actually go to Mr. John. Because, as far as I'm aware, Cena never actually rejoined. Which is a shame. I was looking forward to see how he would have progressed through the field. But, well, you have to be in it to win it. And Owen Quenby then, just the 19 points behind. Such a shame about Japan there. You'd imagine he would have finished... Well, okay, worst case scenario, I would have said P3 had he not had those spins. It could have been as low as 16. But anyway, that's just the way it is sometimes. So, any major takeaways from tonight?
Well, just obviously it's great for the championship that we are going to have a big decider next week, both in TGP1 and TGP2. The leader does have, you would say, relatively comfortable leads heading into those races. But as you say, usually anything can happen in Brazil, and nobody really knows how the race in Abu Dhabi is going to go with the new layout. It could throw up all sorts of surprises. So it is all to play for, I would say, next week in the finale.
And I completely agree. So thank you for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure as always, and hopefully, next week Brazil and the new Yas Marina layout with all the potential to throw up something rather spicy, both in TGP1 and TGP2. And hopefully you will join us next week for those events. And farewell and good night.